Nuclear energy is one of the most powerful and efficient sources of energy ever developed by humankind. It is produced through reactions that take place within the nucleus of atoms, releasing enormous amounts of heat energy that can be converted into electricity. Unlike fossil fuels such as coal or natural gas, nuclear energy does not emit carbon dioxide during operation, making it a cleaner alternative in the global fight against climate change. In today's energy landscape, nuclear power plays a vital role in providing reliable and large-scale electricity generation. Many countries rely on it to meet growing energy demands while reducing dependence on fossil fuels. The technology behind nuclear power plants has evolved over decades, becoming safer, more efficient, and more environmentally sustainable. However, nuclear energy also comes with challenges, such as the handling of radioactive waste, the risk of accidents, and high construction costs. Despite these concerns, advancements in next-generation reactors and fusion technology continue to make nuclear energy a promising solution for the world's future energy needs. This video explores what nuclear energy is, how it works, its advantages and disadvantages, and its potential to power the future in a sustainable and safe way. What is nuclear energy? Nuclear energy is the energy released from the nucleus or core of an atom through a process called a nuclear reaction. This reaction occurs when the nucleus of an atom splits, known as nuclear fission, or when two nuclei combine to form a larger one, nuclear fusion. In both cases, a tiny amount of matter is converted into a tremendous amount of energy according to Einstein's famous equation, E = mc2, which explains how mass can be transformed into energy. In most nuclear power plants today, electricity is generated using nuclear fission. During fission, heavy atoms such as uranium-235 or plutonium-239 are bombarded with neutrons, causing them to split into smaller atoms. This process releases heat, radiation, and more neutrons, which continue the reaction in a controlled chain. The heat produced is used to convert water into steam, which then drives turbines to produce electricity. Nuclear energy is unique because it provides a massive amount of power from a very small amount of fuel. For example, 1 kilogram of uranium can produce millions of times more energy than the same amount of coal. This high energy density makes nuclear power an attractive option for countries seeking a stable and long-term energy supply. However, because it involves radioactive materials, nuclear energy must be handled carefully to ensure safety for people and the environment. History and development of nuclear energy. The history of nuclear energy begins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when scientists first discovered that atoms contain immense amounts of energy. In 1896, Henri Becquerel discovered radioactivity, followed by the groundbreaking research of Marie and Pierre Curie, who isolated radioactive elements like polonium and radium. These early studies laid the foundation for understanding atomic energy and its potential applications. In the 1930s, scientists such as Enrico Fermi, Otto Hahn, Lisa Meitner, and Fritz Strassmann discovered nuclear fission, the process of splitting uranium atoms to release large amounts of energy. This discovery marked a turning point in science and engineering, leading to the development of the first nuclear chain reaction in 1942, led by Enrico Fermi at the University of Chicago. During World War II, nuclear research accelerated under the Manhattan Project, which developed the first atomic bombs. Although this project demonstrated the destructive power of nuclear energy, it also proved that enormous amounts of energy could be harnessed from atomic reactions. After the war, scientists and engineers shifted focus from weapons to peaceful applications, marking the beginning of the nuclear power industry. In 1954, the world's first commercial nuclear power plant began operation in Obninsk, Russia, followed by rapid nuclear energy development in the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Japan. By the 1970s, dozens of nuclear reactors were supplying electricity around the world, symbolizing technological progress and energy independence. However, the industry faced setbacks due to major accidents such as 3 Mile Island, 1979, in the U.S., Chernobyl, 1986, in Ukraine, and Fukushima, 2011, in Japan. These incidents raised public concerns about nuclear safety and environmental risks, leading to stricter regulations and improved reactor designs. Today, nuclear energy continues to evolve with advanced Generation 4 reactors, small modular reactors, SMRs, and fusion research projects like ITER, aiming to provide safer, cleaner, and more efficient power. From its early experimental roots to modern innovations, the development of nuclear energy reflects humanity's ongoing effort to balance technological progress with environmental responsibility and global energy demand. How nuclear power plants work. Nuclear power plants generate electricity by converting the heat produced from nuclear reactions into usable electrical energy. The process begins inside the reactor core, where the nuclear fission of atoms such as uranium-235 or plutonium-239 takes place. When a neutron strikes one of these heavy atoms, the atom splits into smaller atoms, releasing a large amount of heat and additional neutrons. These new neutrons go on to split other atoms, creating a controlled chain reaction that continuously produces heat energy. To ensure safety and control, the reactor contains control rods made of materials like boron or cadmium, which absorb excess neutrons. By adjusting the position of these rods, operators can regulate the rate of fission and control the amount of heat generated. The reactor is also surrounded by a coolant system, typically using water, that removes the heat produced in the core and transfers it to a steam generator. In most modern nuclear power plants, water plays a dual role. It serves as both a coolant and a moderator, slowing down neutrons to sustain a steady reaction. The heated water is used to produce steam, which drives large turbines connected to electric generators. As the turbine blades spin, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy that can be supplied to homes, industries, and cities through the power grid. After passing through the turbine, the steam is cooled in a condenser, turning it back into water. This water is then pumped back into the system, creating a closed-loop cycle that maximizes efficiency and minimizes waste. Nuclear power plants also feature multiple layers of safety systems, including reinforced containment structures, emergency cooling systems, and radiation shielding to protect workers and the environment from any potential release of radioactive materials. In summary, a nuclear power plant functions much like a conventional power station. The key difference is that instead of burning fossil fuels, it relies on nuclear reactions to produce heat. This makes nuclear power a powerful, low-carbon, and efficient source of electricity for millions of people worldwide. How a nuclear reactor works. A nuclear reactor is the central part of a nuclear power plant, where controlled nuclear fission takes place to produce heat, which is later converted into electricity. Inside the reactor, the main component is the reactor core, which contains thousands of fuel rods filled with small ceramic pellets made of uranium dioxide or plutonium dioxide. These pellets are highly energy-dense. A small amount can release as much energy as tons of coal. When the reactor is operating, neutrons collide with the nuclei of uranium atoms, splitting them into smaller atoms and releasing large amounts of heat and more neutrons. This continuous process, known as a chain reaction, sustains the energy production inside the reactor. To control this chain reaction, the reactor is equipped with control rods made from materials like boron, cadmium, or hafnium, which absorb excess neutrons. By adjusting the position of these rods, inserting them deeper to slow the reaction or pulling them out to increase it, operators can precisely regulate the power output. Alongside the control rods, the moderator plays a crucial role by slowing down fast-moving neutrons, making them more likely to trigger additional fission reactions. Common moderators include light water, heavy water, and graphite, depending on the reactor design. The intense heat generated by fission is removed by the coolant system, which circulates around the reactor core. Water is the most common coolant, although some advanced reactors use gases like helium or liquids such as sodium. The coolant transfers the heat from the core to a steam generator, where it converts water into steam. This steam drives a turbine connected to a generator, which transforms the mechanical energy into electrical energy. All of these components are housed inside a pressure vessel, a thick steel container designed to withstand high temperatures and pressures. Surrounding the entire system is a containment structure made of reinforced concrete and steel, which acts as the final safety barrier to prevent any release of radioactive materials in case of an emergency. Modern reactors operate in a continuous cycle that includes fuel loading, startup, power generation, and eventual shutdown for refueling and maintenance. Advanced safety systems such as automatic shutdown mechanisms, emergency cooling systems, And radiation shielding ensures stable operation even under abnormal conditions. In essence, a nuclear reactor works by harnessing the heat released from atomic fission to produce steam that drives turbines and generates electricity. Thanks to its high efficiency and low carbon emissions, the nuclear reactor remains one of the most powerful and sustainable energy technologies in the world today. Advantages of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy offers several key advantages that make it one of the most powerful and efficient sources of electricity in the modern world. One of its biggest benefits is its high energy density. A small amount of nuclear fuel, such as uranium, can produce millions of times more energy than an equivalent amount of coal or oil. This means that nuclear power plants require much less fuel to generate large amounts of electricity, making them highly efficient compared to fossil fuel plants. Another major advantage is that nuclear energy produces very low greenhouse gas emissions during operation. Unlike coal or natural gas plants that release large amounts of carbon dioxide, nuclear power generates electricity without burning fuel. As a result, it plays an important role in reducing air pollution and combating climate change. Many countries view nuclear power as a key solution for achieving carbon-neutral energy systems and meeting global climate targets. Nuclear power is also known for its reliability and stability. Unlike solar or wind energy, which depend on weather conditions, nuclear power plants can operate continuously for months or even years without interruption. This makes them an excellent source of baseload electricity, providing a steady supply of power that supports hospitals, industries, and cities day and night. Additionally, nuclear energy helps reduce dependence on fossil fuels and foreign energy imports. Countries that invest in nuclear technology can produce their own electricity using domestically available uranium, improving energy security and price stability. In some regions, nuclear energy is also used for non-electric applications, such as desalinating seawater or producing hydrogen, both essential for future clean energy systems. Modern advancements in reactor design further enhance the benefits of nuclear energy. Next-generation reactors and small modular reactors, SMRs, promise even higher efficiency, better fuel use, and improved safety features. These innovations make nuclear power more adaptable to various scales and applications, from large national grids to smaller industrial or remote facilities. In summary, nuclear energy's key advantages include high efficiency, low emissions, reliable operation, and long-term sustainability. When combined with modern safety technologies and responsible management, it remains one of the most promising and environmentally friendly options for meeting the world's growing energy demands. Disadvantages and challenges of nuclear energy. Despite its many advantages, nuclear energy also comes with several disadvantages and challenges that must be carefully managed. One of the most significant issues is radioactive waste management. The byproducts of nuclear fission remain hazardous for thousands of years and require safe long-term storage solutions. Managing this waste involves complex and expensive systems, including secure containment facilities and continuous monitoring to prevent radiation leaks into the environment. Although some progress has been made in reprocessing and recycling spent fuel, the problem of permanent disposal remains a global concern. Another major challenge is the risk of nuclear accidents. While modern reactors are built with advanced safety systems, history has shown that even small technical or human errors can lead to catastrophic consequences. Incidents such as Chernobyl, 1986, 3 Mile Island, 1979, and Fukushima, 2011, caused widespread environmental damage, health effects, and long-term economic losses. These disasters have led to public fear and distrust of nuclear power, making it difficult for governments to gain support for new projects. The high cost of construction and decommissioning is another drawback. Building a nuclear power plant requires enormous financial investment, often costing billions of dollars and taking more than a decade to complete. Additionally, when a plant reaches the end of its life cycle, decommissioning it safely and dismantling radioactive components is both time-consuming and costly. These economic challenges make nuclear energy less attractive compared to faster deploying renewable options like solar and wind. There is also the issue of nuclear proliferation, where technology used for peaceful purposes can potentially be diverted to develop nuclear weapons. This concern has led to strict international regulations and monitoring by organizations such as the International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA). Ensuring that nuclear materials are not misused remains a critical political and security challenge worldwide. Furthermore, nuclear energy faces public perception and political resistance. Many people associate nuclear power with danger, radiation, and past accidents. As a result, public opposition can delay or block new nuclear projects, even in countries that need stable and low-carbon energy sources. Lastly, limited uranium resources present a long-term challenge. Although uranium is relatively abundant today, it is a non-renewable resource, and its mining and refining also have environmental impacts. Researchers are exploring alternatives like thorium reactors and nuclear fusion to overcome these limitations, but these technologies are still under development. In conclusion, while nuclear energy provides clean and reliable power, its disadvantages, including radioactive waste, accident risks, high costs, proliferation concerns, and public resistance, cannot be ignored. Addressing these challenges through technological innovation, stronger regulation, and transparent communication is essential to ensure that nuclear energy remains a safe and sustainable part of the world's energy future. Global Nuclear Energy Overview. Nuclear energy plays a crucial role in the global energy landscape, providing a significant share of the world's electricity while helping to reduce carbon emissions. As of today, more than 30 countries operate over 400 nuclear reactors, collectively generating about 10% of global electricity. Many other nations are exploring or developing nuclear programs as part of their long-term strategies to achieve energy security and meet climate goals. The United States remains the largest producer of nuclear power, operating around 90 reactors that supply roughly 19% of its total electricity. France follows as one of the most nuclear-dependent countries in the world, with nearly 70% of its electricity generated from nuclear sources. Other major contributors include China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, and Canada, each maintaining extensive nuclear programs to support industrial growth and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. In recent years, China has emerged as a global leader in nuclear expansion. The country is rapidly constructing new reactors and developing advanced designs such as Hualong-1 and high-temperature gas-cooled reactors, aiming to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. Similarly, India continues to expand its nuclear capacity to meet the growing electricity demand of its population, focusing on pressurized heavy water reactors, PHWRs, and future thorium-based systems. Russia not only operates a large domestic nuclear fleet, but also exports its reactor technology to other nations through state-owned company Rosatom, supplying and constructing reactors in countries such as Turkey, Egypt, and Bangladesh. Meanwhile, Japan, which once relied heavily on nuclear energy, significantly reduced its dependence after the 2011 Fukushima disaster, but has since begun restarting some reactors under stricter safety regulations. In the European Union, nuclear energy remains a key topic of debate. While countries like France, Finland, and Hungary continue to support nuclear development, others such as Germany and Belgium have chosen to phase out their nuclear plants in favor of renewables. However, the ongoing energy crisis and climate concerns have reignited discussions about the need for reliable, low-carbon nuclear power across Europe. Developing nations are also showing growing interest in nuclear energy. Countries in the Middle East, such as the United Arab Emirates, have successfully launched their first commercial nuclear power plants, while Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan are exploring similar paths. In Africa, nations like South Africa and Kenya are considering nuclear energy to meet increasing electricity demands and diversify their energy mix. The future of global nuclear energy is being shaped by new technologies such as small modular reactors, SMRs, and Generation 4 reactors, which promise enhanced safety, lower costs, and greater flexibility. Additionally, international research projects like ITER in France are pushing the boundaries of nuclear fusion, a potential game-changer that could provide virtually limitless clean energy. In summary, nuclear energy continues to be a vital part of the world's transition to a sustainable, low-carbon future. While some nations are moving away from nuclear power, others are investing heavily in next-generation technologies. This global diversification reflects both the promise and the complexity of nuclear energy's role in meeting the planet's growing energy needs. Nuclear energy stands as one of the most powerful, efficient, and low-carbon sources of electricity available to humanity. It harnesses the immense energy stored within atomic nuclei to generate electricity on a massive scale, providing reliable, continuous power that supports industries, cities, and modern life around the world. Unlike fossil fuels, nuclear power produces almost no greenhouse gas emissions during operation, making it a vital tool in the global effort to combat climate change and achieve sustainable energy goals. However, nuclear energy also presents challenges that must not be ignored. Issues such as radioactive waste management, high construction costs, potential safety risks, and public opposition continue to influence the pace of nuclear development. Yet, with advancements in reactor design, safety systems, and waste recycling technologies, many of these challenges are being addressed through innovation and international collaboration. As the world faces increasing energy demands and the urgent need to reduce carbon emissions, nuclear energy offers a balanced solution, one that combines high efficiency, environmental responsibility, and long-term sustainability. With the rise of small modular reactors, SMRs, generation foo systems, and the promise of nuclear fusion, the future of nuclear energy looks more promising than ever. In conclusion, while nuclear energy is not without risks, its benefits as a stable, clean, and scalable power source make it an essential component of the world's transition toward a greener and more secure energy future.